In this tutorial in Titler Pro, we'd like to show you how to take text and make it crawl from the bottom of the screen to the top to infinity, as it were, using an effect similar to what you see in the opening of the Star Wars film series. I'm using Titler Pro version 1.5 that came bundled with my copy of PowerDirector. If yours is an add-on of a different software for video editing, the steps should be about the same once you get into the Titler Pro. I have a background on track number 1, and what I want to do now is add my text. So I'll click on my text tool, my title room, or I can press the F7 key in PowerDirector and then drag Titler Pro down and put it on track number 2. Then we'll go in and into our editor in our Titler Pro. We'll make the screen a little bit bigger so you can follow along better. Then all we need to do is go ahead and start entering text. I'll pause the video while we do that. So now we've entered the text and we need to apply an effect to it. The easiest way to do that is click on the Library tab in the upper left side and click the Effects option. I'm going to click the right arrow so I see the list here. This list is identical to the file folders on the right. I find it easier to use. Then I click under the subcategory of animations and we'll click on Star Crawl. If I hover over any of these, we get to see what they would look like. The deep crawl is basically moving from the bottom to the top of the screen. Shallow crawl angles it a little bit. Tilt forward is much more like what we're looking for in this particular example. And under crawl is even a kind of thinner one. Now you can use any of these 4 presets and modify them, and that's just what we're going to do. I'll click on the tilt forward twice, and that will put the star crawl into this clip. If I go ahead and go to the beginning and play it, I see that it gives me this particular kind of option here. Now what we're going to do in this case is we're going to change one of the 3 characters, or more if we want. We have angle and distance and stretch. Now the minute you change any of these, you'll find that the tilt forward will disappear. I'll just go up a little bit here. It's gone. If you decide that you want to go back to the preset, all you have to do is click the down arrow, go back to your tilt forward, and then you can work from that preset figure again. So what we're going to do is going to change the angle. This is one thing I like about Titler Pro. I can make it more flat, or I can make it more angled. And if I want it maybe something like this, almost at 80, I can adjust that. The distance controls how far the text moves in the course of the clip. Right now, if we watch, it's moving to the top, and it will end about halfway up. Now we can change that. We're going to stop the preview again. If you watch, if I take and drag and move this way, now it will go virtually off the screen. I can do it that way. So now if I take this and we do a play, it'll move and it will vacate the screen. The other thing we need to change if we're going to emulate this is we don't want the text to start in the middle of the screen, which is what it does when I have my playhead over here. Actually, it starts 2/3 of the way up. So to do this, we actually take our text and drag straight down so we can't see it on the screen anymore. And now if we go to the beginning and hit the play key, it will start from off the screen and scroll all the way up to the top of the screen. If you have more than one paragraph, what do you do? Well, I would, in this case, copy my paragraph to another track. One problem you might have run into is if your default, like mine, is only 8 seconds long, you might want to decide, first of all, that you need to change it. If this is too fast, you have to widen the track. But to widen the track, you have to change the number up here in the upper right. So let's say we want to change the maximum time for all our tracks to 30 seconds. That will give me enough room that I can take and widen this now from 8 seconds maybe to 10 seconds. And if I do that and go to the beginning again, the longer I take, the easier it is for people to read this much text on the screen. So the second thing I need to do, if I want another paragraph, is copy this one. I'll right-click on it, and I'll do copy. I'll move my playhead off, and I have to have enough room. I have to have at least 10 more seconds here in order for me to be able to paste it. I'll right-click and do paste, and now I pasted that. Now I'll drag it down into the lower track, and notice what it does when it pastes it. It will paste it perhaps to a length you don't want. I want this also to be the same length. I want it to be 10 seconds in length, approximately here. So what I also need to time it. So the way we do that is I have my grid lines turned on. You can do that with your view option, and you can do with a marking grid. So if you don't see the grid lines, you might want to put that on here. I need to decide, where do I want my first paragraph to be when my second paragraph starts. So right now, if I move my first paragraph in, maybe I want it to be about here before the second paragraph begins, and I simply take and drag the second one over, and it will start at that point in time. Now the text for the second paragraph in this case is the same as the first paragraph. And so what I need to do is right-click on this and click on Edit Text, and we'll get in here and we'll make some changes just to the first part of it so you can see what's going on. So I've modified the first part of second paragraph here. And we'll go back to the beginning and we'll play it. We have our first paragraph coming in, much like we would want, and then we have the break that we decided, and now we have our second paragraph coming in, and we could do a third, a fourth, a fifth, as much as you want in this particular setting. So you're not limited by the amount of text that you need. And then when you're satisfied with what you have, and you can go ahead, you can change any attributes of the text font, the text color. You can do extrusion if you want. We have lessons on those. We'll go ahead and close our Tiler Pro, and then we can put it right into our movie. We'll go ahead and play on this particular background, and here we have the final result of the Star Wars type effect for a text animation using Tiler Pro.